Hello and welcome to the second tutorial of the Changing Tides Crochet Along. I'm Eleonora, the designer behind Coastal Crochet, and all the details and written pattern for this blanket crochet along are over on my blog, Coastal Crochet. The links are in the description below. So this tutorial is to accompany round 6, and it's where we create a ruffle going right around the front of the work, and it's to resemble the sea spray or the tops of the waves as they come into shore. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working into the half treble stitches from round 4. We're keeping the right side of the work facing forward on this round, and the unique thing about half treble stitches is that they create 3 strands. So in round 5 we've crocheted into the stitches as normal, going under the 2 strands, but we're left with this front loop strand, which is the remaining loop from the half trebles worked in round 4. And it's these front loops that we're going to be crocheting into now to create that sort of ruffle effect. So at the start of round 6, with the right side of the work facing forwards, we're joining our yarn to any one of those front loops, inserting the hook from the bottom and going upwards. And then we just join the yarn. I'm using a cream here for mine, and we make 2 chain, which counts as the first half treble, or don't forget a half treble is a US half double crochet. It counts as the first half treble stitch. And now we're going to be doing 2 half treble just into the same front loop. So that's 1, and that's 2. And now what we're doing is we're doing 1 slip stitch into the next front loop. So you can see this is the loop we're in now, and the next front loop is here, and we're just working a slip stitch into that one, and then 3 half treble in the next front loop, which is here. Just working 3 half treble all into the same front loop, and then 1 slip stitch into the next one. And as you can see, we're already getting that sort of ruffle effect, and we just keep going, alternating between the front loops. So we've just done a slip stitch, so now we're doing 3 half treble into that next front loop. 1, 2, 3, and then 1 slip stitch into the next one. You can see there's a little extra little loop there between the front loops we're crocheting into. Just be careful not to go into there. It's that sort of big strand loops that you can see that we're going into. So those remaining front loops from the half trebles worked in round 4. So 3 half treble in this next one, and then a slip stitch into the next one. I'm going to have a little look back at our work, and you can see now you're getting that sort of curved effect of that ruffle on the work. And just keep going all the way round. When you get to a corner, just make sure that you're crocheting into that final stitch. So here we've got 1, 2, 3 half treble in this front loop, and then a slip stitch here. And then you can see there's that final front loop there, which is easy to miss, but make sure you get into that final final strand. 1, 2 and 3. And then when we go round a corner, literally just skip across the corner chain space and go into that first strand of the next side under that front loop. So now we're just doing a slip stitch. There we go, we've gone round the corner, and then 3 half treble in the next one, and just keep going, alternating between 3 half treble in one front loop and 1 slip stitch in the next front loop. Keep alternating all the way along, all the way round. And you can see now the effect that we are getting going all the way round. And just keep going. So we're just approaching our last corner. I've just worked a slip stitch. So we go across that corner into the first front loop of the next side, and we're working 3 half treble into there. Followed by a slip stitch. And then 3 half treble. And at the end of round 4, when we were crocheting these half treble stitches, which we're now going into the front loops of, we had 15 on each side when we finished the round. And so if you times that by 4 for each side, that's 60 stitches in total, which is an even number. So at the end, you should have 1 front loop left in which to do a slip stitch, which brings us nicely back to our starting group of 3 half treble. Obviously that starting 2 chain counted as a half treble, and so we just slip stitch into that first 2 chain, the top of that 2 chain, to join the round. So slip stitch in the top of that 2 chain and just fasten off your yarn and pull through, and obviously then you can weave in the ends. And there we go. There is our ruffle going right round the work. Gives it some lovely texture, and obviously weave in the ends at some point, but it just gives a nice textured effect. And it's quite simple to do and uses those front loops of the half treble stitches, so it's quite a unique feature. Lovely, thank you for watching.